All right, no promises, but I have learned to hold my ground. And if you smoke too much tobacco, it's gonna drag you down and make you really angry. Why is that? Because tobacco is also the medicine of a warrior. And it can activate your dark side, your shadow. But if you smoke too much tobacco, then if you have too much shadow, too much darkness inside of you, you're gonna become Darth Vader. You're gonna be like... I mean, you don't see Darth Vader jumping around like a crazy person, because he's constantly short on breath, if you know what I mean. But he's basically been suffocated by anger. What you can do is you can mix tobacco with sage instead of cannabis, for instance. And it can help you to boost you. But I would recommend that you do this mostly in nature. And always with the possibility of moving. And for instance, I started to climb the bark of trees because I've learned so from the monkeys. And so what I would like to show you is simply, I don't know if I can hold myself now. I assume I can. I may even be able to climb into the tree. I haven't managed that yet. But let's just see how far I can reach. Plus I have to pee now, which of course makes it harder. So if you have a lot of unfulfilled desires and needs, you may channel them into climbing trees or walking on all fours or doing sprinting. I'm not really a sprinter. I can sprint, but yeah. So to hold yourself on the bark of a tree requires a lot of strength in your arms and hands, right? It's like I do this often, right? To train my sinews and my tendons in my arms and my muscles, right? So that they get used to holding like this, because that's what you want. You want to have a claw. You want to be like a panther, right? A panther walks like this. Basically, if you see chimpanzees, right, they put their hand on like this, and you can see this is like fairly strong now because I've trained this. And because I got sick of bouldering indoors, I realized, why don't I just go to nature and climb trees? You can go to any park and do this. Just make sure you don't really injure the tree. So I do, I go barefoot and I use my hands. Let's see. Right, I can hold this. And I manage to get further every time. This is basic, but also, with smoking there's a cost involved, which is short breath. So it's good to also do other things, which is like, going for mild runs. And I'm not sure how to do this. Well, let's just see. I think I want to increase the height. I really would like to be on top, but I'm afraid I won't manage. But at the same time, I'm fairly confident. It's like, I'm in between, I can do this, and I will never manage. And that's basically every day of my life, I'm in between, I can do this, and I never manage. So until I've done it and proven to myself that I can do it, whatever it is, it's like, you know, it's whether you want to play an instrument or do art or just be good at whatever else you're doing, at life and being happy and fulfilled. But there's always ups and downs. And if I'm really heavy and down, well, I drink a coffee. And that's it. You know, I don't drink 10 coffee, I drink 1. Wow. Okay. Right? It's fun. It's fun in a way. Wow. Of course, you can also cheat. You can take a blanket, throw it over, and then you can climb up. But like right now, I'm not sure. You could even put the blanket around. Of course, that also works. You can put it up there. And then you can start by holding yourself in such a position. But I want to climb up there like a monkey. But I also feel there's often there's like a learning curve. I already did more now than I did last time. And maybe I'm just going to show you that there's other trees that may be a bit easier in the beginning to climb up. So first I talked to you about tobacco. So yes, I did just smoke a cigarette with sage. And I feel more clear, but I also played a bit of frisbee with some friends. Plus I'm barefoot. I'm in nature, which means I'm opening up. Right? I could drink a coffee here and that would also open me up. Right now I have to also pay attention because there's people with dogs here. And then you start. I'm not sure if you can see this. And this is also stretching plus strength. Which is what most of us are lacking, because a large part of the human population or race or of human beings are basically sitting behind laptops all day. And I also realize I've just been invited to a friend. And there's always this stretch between, do I go there or don't I go there? But to be honest, if somebody invites me, you know, I don't know. But, you know, it's like, what does it mean to be in flow? I'm here, somebody invites me, and I say I'll go. And I've realized that there are so many things which I can do to strengthen myself, right? I've been working with this thing, for instance. And always have to check. Right, I just positioned it. And then you start. Right, you can first do it like this. Now I'm also wow, trying to balance on a moving object, which is a nice challenge and a nice switch from slacklining or transition maybe. You can do on all fours, which of course is also quite hard. So but right, I don't always have people to do things with me, so I have to find ways to engage with myself, right? It's like I have to find ways to do on my own, and if I don't at least do something, then I'm going to suffocate basically in myself. And if I don't go out to meet people, then I'm also suffocating in myself. And that's maybe the lesson. You know, I'm not on my top game today, and that's okay as well. So I have days where I can like go all out, like where I can go nuts. And then, you know, I go to someone and we played frisbee a couple of times, and then I go there again and he says, you know, leave me alone. And I'm like, all right, man, I'll go home and do something else then. But for the moment, it's like a punch in the face. And that's tough, you know. I get nothing but punches in the face. So when somebody invites me, you know, hey, you can come over, it's like, all right, do I want to do this? You know, am I ready? You know, is he gonna injure me? But then I think, hey, I'm a tough guy, man. But I'm also a little child. Right? It's like, yeah, I'm a tough guy, but I'm also a little child. So I have to take care of that child. And if somebody asks me, do you want to come over? Is he trying to help me or himself? But it's an honest offer. And I actually wanted to be invited. And now that he invites me, I feel like I don't want it. Because if I reject it, I feel powerful. But I also still want to protect myself. Because I've met many people and they wanted to pull me back in, and then they, you know, it's like, I've talked to you about that woman, you know. And then she called me and then she said, yeah, but when we were chatting, and then she said, yeah, but it doesn't mean we're gonna have a romantic relationship again. I was like, okay, then fuck you. Leave me. You know, if you're not certain you want this to be romantic, then stay away. Because I'm not friends with women, not really. You know, I want a woman to be a wife, to be a mother. And if I have a bad day, sure, I can take care of myself. But I also want a woman that knows how to take care of a man, how to love a man when he has a bad day. And when I want to smoke, right, I don't want her to make a problem out of this. Because if I smoke, then that means I'm lacking love. And if she can't give me that, then I'm going to smoke. Right? So that I can keep going. But I also don't want to smoke all the time, because at one point, you know, it doesn't taste good anymore. It's just like, you drink a coffee, it's nice. You drink another one, it's like, all right. You know, one day you drink 4 coffee, and then the next is like, doesn't do it anymore. So you look for something else. Most people, they just keep going. And I just don't want that, right? I mean, I want to keep going, but I don't want to keep on smoking. You know, I rather look for whatever I want in myself, because I want to heal. So I can say, hey, all right, sometimes I can smoke a cigarette, but I roll it myself and I put sage in it, so that, you know, it's not that bad. Because sage at least also cleanses. So I can use the smoke and I can just puff it, and I can blow it onto my hands. Because if I go to the city and a lot of people want to shake my hands, and sometimes I give in to it and then I shake hands, yeah, I don't know what I'm, you know, there is energy being transmitted. So I don't shake everybody's hands. There's people I don't shake their hands. But sometimes you may do. You know, I'm not the mayor. I don't have to be liked by everyone. Right? And what does that mean? I don't have to shake your hand if I think you're dirty, or you just want to shake my hand to make yourself look good or feel better. Right? I shake people's hands as equals. I shake people's hands because you and I are one. And if there's like respect between us, then I can shake your hand and we can hold the handshake and even look into each other's eyes, and then there's honesty. But it's also true that if I feel dirty or weak or ashamed or bad, then, you know, I don't want to look into your eyes. But maybe I don't want to look into your eyes because that's also a form of respect. Because I've been reading Harry Dresden, which is a series from Jim Butcher about a wizard. It's quite dark. I like it. You know, I like it. It's like mature Harry Potter or something. You know, Harry Potter with a punch to it. You know, not the angry teenager, you know, but more like, you know, I'm Harry Dresden, kabooyah. And, you know, he kind of re-established this, yeah man, I'm a fucking wizard. You know, I do magic. Because what's magic? It's energy. And if you consciously channel magic, channel energy into something, you could call it a spell. So if I want to transmute anger into love, you know, I can create a house, a home from it. Because anger is there, because it's raw potential energy. It's how it comes in. It's what keeps you alive. This, you know, I'm a little bit angry. That's the root chakra. It's raw emotion. It's red. And you want to get it to green, because green is healing, which is nature. Right? If you're weak, you're gonna die, even in nature. Because dying is a form of healing, right? If you want to look at the Buddhist way of life, then you can say, for instance, you know, we are all one, reincarnation and karma. So if karma is real, which, you know, I don't really care, all I know is there are things I have to do, and I feel like I have a certain responsibility for certain things. And that's like family, that's like certain people I met that helped me, where I'm, you know, I have a debt to pay. And I can only pay that debt with friendship, with playing frisbee. You know, maybe you gave me weed a couple of times. You gave me a draw from your doobie your joint. And I took it. So there's a debt to be paid. And I trusted that if that debt is paid, you're gonna tell me. It's enough, man. I don't need more. And then you say, all right, then I'm gonna withdraw now. But until I'm sure you've had enough and the debt is settled, I'm just gonna do my own thing. Wait. I'm gonna wait till we meet and then I'm gonna see. So yeah, I see it as an honest offer. But I also can prepare myself that I say, hey, if I go there, I'm gonna go there with a good mood. So I'm gonna go for a walk first. You know, a friend invites me. Which means I will go to somebody's place and then we're gonna share something. And what am I gonna do then? Well, first I go to nature maybe. Then I go for a walk. And then I go to him. And then I feel clean. And that's a respectful thing to do. Because if I'm just at home and I feel miserable and I wait for people to contact me and then I go there with this feeling of resentment and he should have called earlier and, you know, I'm just holding on to all this stuff. It's very disrespectful because I come to your home because you invite me and then I basically take a piss on you. It's like very disrespectful. And I try to be very respectful. And there, you know, I've talked about, okay, energy is flowing. Let's say you spend time with people. I have this with women, I have this with men, and I have this with men and women of all ages. Which means a young man is a child, right, is a boy. And sometimes I feel the energy rising and I feel like, you know, energy starts to flow because we're together now. That's satsang, right? Community service. We're together. Energy is flowing between us. And then I may, as a man, feel like, you know, there's like something pulsing in my root chakra. And it may manifest itself first as an erection because most men are used to releasing the energy during an orgasm. But you can just let it flow. And then it will break through and wash away whatever is blocking the energy to flow. And then the energy will flow more freely. And that's a challenge. Because you may not be used to it. It may drive you insane. You may even see things in you or in others. And with me, that seems to be quite true. You know, if I don't spend time with other people, I'm on my own. And then I do my art. I do my transformation yoga stuff. You know, I record episodes for my podcast. I record things for my YouTube channel. I write books. And sometimes I do all of it at the same time. And sometimes I do nothing, which is basically the last 2 to 3 weeks. I did nothing. Yeah, I did Instagram, okay. But everything else, I just said, no, I need a break. And I had a break. And this still feels like a break. Because my break, you know, I never have a break. Because there's always something to do. Because I don't work in this kind of worldly business. You know, I work more on a spiritual level. And that's a challenge as well. And I'm not sure if I should ever take work from someone else. I think I cannot do this. I think everybody has to do their own job. Sometimes, you know, I get drawn into things and I ask them, hey, can I work for you? And then I realize I don't want it. And when I tell people, I say I can't do it. But the true thing is I don't want it. I don't want it. It's like, you know, I don't care about money. What I care about is love. And if I work for money, it's hard to go around and give love to people. Because then my love is going into a company that I think actually shouldn't get support. Not my support. You know, if people want to support it, go ahead. But I've been placed in a position in life where people give things to me because I give other things to them, right? I go there, I make a coffee, and in return I get something back. Maybe I get an apple. I can eat that. I have a conversation with you and you give me bread. You know, I play with your child. I don't know what you will give me. I think you should play with your own child. I can play with your child once or twice, but ultimately it's your responsibility to play with your child and to see if your child is unhappy. And if you can't see that your child is unhappy, then maybe you're creating it because you're unhappy and you project it onto your child. So every time your child wants to play, you're cutting it off. Which means you're basically killing your child because a child needs to move, needs to run, needs to jump. And because I feel like, you know, the fear of my parents often like stopped me. Or maybe it wasn't just the fear of my parents, maybe they also needed me. But I also have other things to do, right? I can't be just there for family. Because if I only feed my family, then who's gonna feed me when they're gone, if you know what I mean? So I also have to work with other people. And I find it important. But it's also hard. Sometimes you say no to someone in order to say yes to someone else. And that's hard as well, because I don't know who to love. To what extent? You know, I'm always saying, you know, when there's a woman that wants me, you know, I'm gonna say yes. But the truth is, there have been women that wanted me. And I refused them all because I love, in that sense, only one woman. And she completely ignores me on a physical realm, in terms of, I'm gonna call you. But I feel like, heart-wise, she's always there. But that could just be a fantasy. That could just be imagination, if you know what I mean. Which I assume you might. Right, and sometimes I go to the city and I have a little chessboard, like travel chess, and then I play chess with people. And it's nice. I didn't do that too often. But I did it. No, twice. No, twice. And it's nice. But it's also hard to find someone who can... It's not just about keeping up, but who doesn't care whether or not he loses. You know, I'm giving it my best shot. And it's much nicer to play chess one-on-one, you know, facing each other than through the internet. And sometimes I play chess with someone and I think, you know, I'm gonna win. And then I lose. You know, it's like suddenly, like bam. But then I didn't pay attention. But that's also the problem with these rapid 10-minute games. Because you don't have time to think. Which of course is something that trains your intuition. If you don't have a lot of time to think, then you just have to act. And so maybe I should just play bullet chess, right? And these are all things that look or sound easy when I talk about it, but I'm also struggling because I'm alone. So if somebody, like a good friend, invites me and says, hey, come over, I'll say, all right, it's a challenge, but I'll prepare myself. And I'm gonna come over. And then we may see what's gonna come out of it. And at the moment I also feel like I rather spend my time with men because, yeah, unless the man is hitting on me, then I leave. But there's like women that, you know, what I said is like, they come to you, they say they want to do tantra, and then I say to her, what are you talking about? You know, I'm 34, I want to have a family. You know, if I start sleeping with a 56-year-old woman, I'm unlikely to have a family. Because you don't want a child, you just want to screw around. You know, you had your man, you have your children. So why do you want to steal me, right? Because they don't care. And you also have to understand that I was running around a bit like, I'm gonna look for sex now. I bought condoms and then I chucked them because I said, damn it, I'm already in love. But the problem is, I never see her. I don't know what it's gonna be like when I do see her. I don't know what it's gonna be like when I see her. I can't imagine. Sometimes I think she's gonna be like a little child. It's like weird because I still have these ideas, how big the breast should be. Because if there's no woman at all, you want the one with like nice big breasts. But experience has shown me that I actually like women with small breasts. Lean women, fit women, women that can twist around you, women that can climb, women that can run, women that can move. That's the kind of women that I always preferred. I like to look at women that are like round and soft and all that kind of stuff. And every woman is kind of soft, right? Not every woman, but most of them. Somehow, not really, I don't know. But, there's women that have like really insane curves. And you may think like, well, she looks more like a woman. But that's from a place of, I don't see her. I don't know who she is really. I got a whiff of her, and that's all. That's all I may ever get, just a whiff. And if someone would come here now and sit down here, but I have the feeling this space is already occupied, which is weird, but also true. And I think I'm going to pack my things now. I also have to pee, so I'm going to pause this recording or stop it. And then I'm going to go for a walk because I feel like I've done enough for today. I think I'm going to do some recordings with animal movements at home. Or maybe I'm just going to do one more round here. But I really have to pee. And that's a need that wants to be satisfied. Plus I've already shown you, right, how I do this. Just show it one more time. It's like, alright. But I'm gonna leave this for the next video.